How's it going, guys? I hope everyone's doing well. Today, me and my group will be given a quick oral briefing about the WSU club soccer team. And my group consists of me, Abdulhadi Shuaib, Andrew Allen, Minhajul Abedin, and Anthony Silico, all with a little bit of interest in soccer and a little bit of history in soccer as well. So just to give you guys a quick formal outline of what the presentation is going to look like, I'm first going to be introducing my group members and a little bit about them. Then I'm going to give you guys a quick topic description on what it is we're discussing here in the oral briefing. After that, I'm going to be handing it off to Andrew Allen, who will describe to you the objectives of this project, the problems at hand, and also the importance of this project, because having a club soccer team and improving it is fairly important here at Wayne State. So once Andrew is done, he will then pass it on to Minhajul Abedin, who will be talking about our team's qualifications and our team's individual contribution. He will also be talking about our ways of communication, as it is an online course, and of course communication is key to any online course, and it is key to working collaboratively. Once Minhajul is done, he will pass it on to Anthony Sicalo, who will be concluding the presentation by talking about our goals and responsibilities, giving a schedule of what we had to do to complete this project, and also summarizing and concluding this project at the end of the presentation. So I'd like to start off by introducing myself. My name is Abdulhadi Shuaib. I'm a Wayne State University electrical engineering student, and I've had an interest in soccer since I was a kid, about 6 years old. I've played on a club team, a rec team, a travel team. I've played for the high school, and I've just been passionate and had a love for soccer ever since I was a kid. Also, I know many members within the organization, including the club president and many members that play on the club soccer team here at Wayne State. And they have made it obvious to me that Wayne State does need to improve the club soccer. So I took that into my interest to do this project on this topic. Next is Andrew Allen, who's a mechanical engineering student and who also happens to know the president of the club soccer team very well. Him and the president are very close friends, so he happens to know a little bit about the problem at hand. Furthermore, Minhajul Abedin, a computer science student, he played soccer throughout high school, so he has a bit of history with playing soccer. And he also loves watching the sport. In particular, he's a big fan of the FIFA World Cup, which is a national soccer tournament. Lastly, Anthony Sicalo, a Wayne State student, has also played soccer growing up, but he was not aware of the current issue at hand, and he would love to see Wayne State University soccer progress, the program, the group members, and just the ranking as a whole. So the club soccer team at Wayne State actually began around 2012. Back then, they used to practice at an intramural field for soccer, and they didn't even have a home field. This meant that they had to play their games at a field outside Wayne State's campus until about 2015, when they got their own jerseys, their own practice field, their own equipment, their own bleachers, and that sort of thing, all with the help of the new president for the club soccer organization, which helped them to progress. The problems that the club soccer team is facing is that they have a lack of advertisement and a lack of funding. Our goals for this project is actually to ask Wayne State to help with the funding and advertisement so we can attract more students, and that's basically what the future plans for the soccer team is. The small picture is we basically want to attract more attendance to these games and more involvement, but the bigger picture is to eventually get Wayne State's club soccer to a D2 team. And this will allow us to play bigger colleges, and more importantly, it'll expand the atmosphere of Wayne State a whole lot more.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Allen, and I will be discussing some of the problems involved with our project, as well as some of the solutions and objectives that we have found along the way. So one of the first problems that we found was that a lot of students are not aware of this club. I talked to the president of the Wayne State Soccer Club, and he mentioned that a lot of the times when he talks to other students, they do not know that the club exists or that we have a field on the campus to play on. Another problem is that the school does not fund the soccer club like they do the basketball and football team, which means there's no money coming in for uniforms or equipment and things like that. And so This lack of funding leads to a lack of advertising. There's no way to spread the word other than the students that are in the club giving their own money to pay for advertising to let people know that these games are going on. And if there was advertising, we would want these events to be like the football and soccer games, where people show up and support the team. And the students don't have to do this on their own dime. The school can give money to fund these activities and events. So some of the solutions to these problems that we found are first to spread awareness of the club through flyers and possibly through the school giving support, advertising for the students in the club themselves. We would also like to find more funding for the club, maybe through fundraisers, the school sponsors, or bake sales. They would also provide awareness to other students that this club exists. One of the big solutions or objectives that we would hope to accomplish is to turn the team into a Division II or III team, where there are coaches, maybe sponsor scholarships for the students who play, and it would just turn it into a sport such as basketball or football, that are already in divisions playing at the collegiate level. And finally, we would like to encourage the school, like I said before, to create events out of the games, where the students buy tickets, show up, support the team, maybe the band comes out to play. So these are just a few of the solutions that we've come up so far. I will now hand the presentation off to Minhajul, who will discuss each presenter's contribution to the project, as well as why this topic is important to us.
My name is Minhajul Abedin, and I will start talking about group roles. So Andrew Allen was the project manager, and he was in charge of leading the efforts of the group and making sure that the work was organized and making sure that the meeting times we had amongst the group was organized. He was also in charge of making sure that we were working collaboratively in a way that the final product that we presented would come out well. He was also in charge of making sure that we met the deadlines of the group. So we had deadlines for the PowerPoint and we had deadlines for brainstorming. So basically we had many deadlines so we could set the project to become successful. So he was just making sure that we met those deadlines. So in the end, when we facilitated the project to the public, that the presentation would be really good. And the documenter was Abduladi Swab. So Abduladi Swab basically documented the material that we found in a way that it fit the rubric or outline of the project. So basically he was in charge of making sure that the data that we found was relevant and that he was documenting it in a way that everything made sense. So when we were able to deliver that, it was a relevant project and he was making sure that the documentation was relevant to what we were talking about. And the organizational planner was Anthony Sicalo. So basically he was planning out the aspects of the presentation, such as what we should discuss on each slide, and he was also brainstorming ideas on the topics that we should come up with. So basically he was just brainstorming ideas on say slide 1 or slide 2 or any additional topics that we could see that is relevant to our topic. So basically he was brainstorming ideas here and there that we could implement to make our presentation better. And he was also in charge of making sure that the schedule for the project was convenient amongst the group members, because we're all busy, so it's really important to make sure that we could always meet and talk about the roles and work on the presentation. So he was really in charge of making sure that the timing that we had for the presentation was worked out for everyone. So I was the researcher and reviser, and basically I gathered the information that I found from online resources and secondary resources, and I was making sure that it would fit the relevancy of the topic as per the outline of the project. And secondly, I was in charge of revising the work, so I was in charge of making sure that there wasn't a lot of punctual errors or grammatical errors. So in the end, that once you revise it, everything seems professional and well punctual. So yeah. So the main form of communicating was WhatsApp, which was commonly used amongst all the forms of communication. So in WhatsApp, we're basically talking about our progression. So say we couldn't meet each other up, we could just say, hey, I want to talk about this topic on WhatsApp. Or say, you know, I'm on slide 1 and I'm on slide 2. We could basically talk about the progress of the slides. So basically WhatsApp was really a way that instantly we could talk about the progress of the project, or if we couldn't meet up with each other, we could text on WhatsApp and say, hey, I have an emergency, I can't meet up. So it's basically one of the most fastest way of communication that we use for our group. The UGL was the second form of communication, so we regularly met at the UGL, and we had meetings that we talked about organizing the material and planning the material, and we also talked about the roles that we could fit for the project. And we also worked on the PowerPoint presentations, the visuals of it, and the main presentation. And the UGL was really helpful because we were working face to face, so we could all battle our issues that we had in the project. And instant messaging was the emergency plan of messaging. So instant messaging is basically iMessaging if you have iPhone, and Android messaging if you have an Android phone. So basically, if we left our house and we were meeting each other up at the library, we'd text, I'm on my way, or say we have no internet connection, we could just text on our phone instant messaging app. And basically, say we had an emergency or something and there's no internet connection, or say that we're really busy and we want to communicate really fast without logging into WhatsApp, then we would text in the instant messaging app that we had in our phones. And lastly, we used Google Docs. So basically, on Google Docs, we all implemented our ideas. And since you could share your screen on Google Docs, we all accumulated our ideas and we all accumulated our topics. And we basically filtered out the topics that we found were all relevant and relevant. And basically, Google Docs was really helpful in a way that we could find the most relevant topics and we could implement it in our presentation. We also documented the research that we found on Google Docs, and we also worked on the PowerPoint on Google Docs. So if we couldn't meet, we all could share a screen and accrue our thoughts and deliver it.
So our goals and responsibilities for this project, for having a soccer club here at Wayne State, we have a few goals. Our main goal is to make sure that our message is seen and heard by as many students, faculty, community members as possible. For us to accomplish this, we have 3 main points. Point 1 being to hand out flyers in the Recreation Center and Student Center, like we said, to have as many students aware of this club as possible. Collect signatures for a petition, whether that's through the student body, through faculty, through other staff members, just so we can, like I said, create as much buzz around this club as possible. And also to be in contact with the president of the university, because we feel that communication through every level of this university is so extremely important. Now, this responsibility and these goals are very important for research and talking with the students. Students want the program. I truly believe, and we believe as a group, that this could be something that influences more smart minds to come to Wayne State. And we believe that it will increase the productivity within the student body. So these are goals that we need to accomplish. So our project schedule, like my colleague previously elaborated on, at 2:20, the WhatsApp was created. We felt that this was just the easiest way to have communication and dialogue within the group. 2:26, we had several Skype discussions about the project, just formulating ideas, getting our thoughts out there, bouncing them off of each other. 3:1, work together to finish slides. 3:3, project presentation, recording, and editing. And then finally, 3:5, last but not least, project submission. So our summary and conclusion for the soccer club here at Wayne State. Some very important points. 1, Soccer is a very popular sport, not only in our area, but in the United States as a whole. So we feel that bringing soccer as a club to this university will benefit not only students, it will benefit the faculty members, it will benefit the professors, because their students will be more productive in other areas. Also, with Wayne State having a lot of international students, soccer will be extremely popular, and we truly believe that this club will take off immediately. This could also influence more students to want to come to Wayne State if we do offer a soccer club. It'll give them a way to be able to still have the passion and play the sport that they love while also going and attending school at Wayne State.